Hello everyone and welcome to our federal budget recap on last night's 2025 federal budget from Jim Chalmers. Steph, what did you think overall of this budget?
Well, there was a lot of flashy numbers splashed around in terms of spending that the government is going to do, but there was no detail at all. So in reality, we have no detail in terms of how small businesses or individuals will be able to access any of this kind of future made in Australia money that was announced or any of the other business investment spending. And so really, we don't have a lot to report today.
So this is going to be a quick video. Let's just talk overall. Obviously, the focus of this year's budget was targeting measures to look at the cost of living relief for people across the country, which is pretty astronomical at the moment. We're actually projecting a surplus of $9.3 billion, which is a good thing. But let's have a look at a bit of detail that we do actually know around measures for small business. Steph, we had already this instant asset write-off for businesses. Tell us a bit more about what's happening with that.
So all they've done is extend it. So at the moment, if you purchase an asset that costs less than 20 grand, so say a piece of equipment, you can depreciate that up front. That's been extended to 30 June 2025. It would have been great for that to be extended longer than that, but they've given it one more year of extension. Remember, this isn't cash back, it is a tax deduction. So you need to be making profit in order to be able to get the tax deduction. It just simplifies the depreciation. Claim it now rather than claiming it over a number of years.
Okay, and then we've obviously had an ongoing issue, and it's a massive issue for our clients around finding staff, but there was some extension of some incentive payments for apprenticeships.
Yeah, so in the national priority shortage list, which seems to be nearly every occupation at this present point in time,
long list.
We've been able to secure $4,000 payments for apprentices. That's increasing to $5,000 for small businesses, so there's some good incentive there. The apprentices also get a payment for that, so that's increasing by another $1,000, and that's all going to start now. There's been 20,000 fee-free TAFE spots that have been put in place specifically for the construction industry. And there's also another $10,000 incentive payment for apprentices, not for the small business, but for apprentices as part of the learning clean energy skills trade shortage that we have. And so that's been extended to a lot of other industries and a lot of other occupations. So one to look at certainly, not for the small business though, for the actual apprentice.
So a good measure, but quite targeted and won't affect everyone.
No, definitely not. And not the old school 50% of employees' wages that we used to have a couple of years ago.
What about this amazing energy rebate we're going to get?
So $325, spend it very wisely, small businesses, towards energy bill relief. But again, no detail. So we don't know how those payments will be administered or who will get them, but it is $325. Of note, the ATO has been given a big chunk of money towards compliance specifically for superannuation. So that'll be targeting people who aren't paying super on time or who aren't paying people at all, which is a good thing. And the only other thing announced for small businesses was payment time reporting. So money's been given to the regulator to effectively name and shame publicly big businesses who pay late. So the government's trying to bring that 90-day payment term back down so that small businesses are not out of pocket. Again, it's just money for the regulator though. What about spending in general?
Well, there was a lot of spending announced last night, and again, we don't have a huge amount of detail, but obviously they're continuing this theme of investing in clean energy, and so we've got a lot of money heading towards bringing solar energy products manufacturing back into Australia, which of course we think is a great thing. But again, a bit lax in detail there. We've got $2 billion earmarked for the hydrogen expansion and development industry in Australia. So they've obviously pinpointed this as a major area that they want to target. We've got some more spending around targeted programs in Australia, but we'll put the detail behind that in our blog post.
When we actually get it, which
When we get it.
this is really the disappointing part in last night's budget. There was a lot of announcements about money being spent, but absolutely no detail on how and what those programs look like. So we'll need to wait for that. Who knows how long that will be till it comes out. But that kind of was the disappointing part. It'd be great to be able to forecast and really plan with our business clients what they can do from an expansion perspective, but we'll have to wait for that detail.
All the waiting.
What about income tax cuts?
Okay, so stage 3 tax cuts are finally in play. Woohoo! Not as much as originally was legislated, but certainly across the board, most people will be getting more money in their take-home pay, which is a good thing.
Not quite as much as what was originally legislated with the stage 3 cuts, but as an example, someone earning $40,000 a year will get $13 extra per week starting from the 1st of July. Someone on $120,000 will get $52 extra per week, and someone on $190,000 will get $87 per week.
Macca's, woohoo!
Or one cocktail, or one gin, or something along those lines.
We've also heard a lot of stuff in the news before the budget, even last night, about the Hex changes. Do you want to give us a bit more detail about that?
Yeah, so on the 1st of June each year, Hex is actually indexed, meaning if you've got a Hex debt, it increases. Last year, it was increased by 7.1%, which was CPI. And so the government has retrospectively gone back and said, we're going to change the way indexation is done, and it's going to be on the lower of CPI or the wage price index. So that means that last year, rather than it being 7.1, they're going to reduce that to 3.2. So everyone will actually get a credit for the amount that they were charged last year, and that will go on offsetting their actual Hex debt.
Excellent. And then we've also had an incentive around paying people an extra payment if they are on placement for work.
Yeah, so if you're studying nursing, teaching or social work, you will be eligible for $319.50 per week while you're on placement. It is important to note that that is means tested though. I think the only other exciting thing for individuals, and I'm not sure exciting is the right word, but they will be a $300 rebate towards your energy bill.
Excellent.
So this is going to start on the 1st of July, and it's not going to be money to you. It is actually going to be a rebate on your bill. So don't go spending that large $300 cash splash. Now, what wasn't mentioned last night at all was superannuation.
No, crickets. It was absolutely nothing on it, other than they are starting to pay superannuation on paid parental leave from the government, which I think is a good thing because it means that people that are taking time off to look after new arrivals in their family can actually get paid super as well and not be out of pocket.
And look, it's probably not a bad thing that superannuation wasn't targeted last night, I would imagine.
Look, there's been so many announcements over the last 3 years in super. There's $3 million extra taxes, there's changes to pension minimums, there's a whole host of things at play here that some still aren't even actually legislated, even though they were announced several years ago. So we will keep track of that and we will update you when it actually becomes law.
Yeah, and I think the only other point to mention about superannuation is on the 1st of July, the super guarantee, the amount you pay on your employees' wages, will increase to 11.5% from 11% and then increase again to 12% on the 1st of July next year. So just be mindful there's an extra 0.5% you'll be paying in superannuation from the 1st of July. And that really was it for the budget.
We told you it would be quick. For those of you that are already subscribed, we'll be sending out a blog post later on today. And for those of you that haven't already subscribed, head over to our YouTube channel and click subscribe from there.